Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel.
Hey! Hey! How y'all doing?
Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling well, rested, at peace, and I hope you're excited for me to be back on the internet! I hope you're excited. I guess just want to start off, well, first of all, let me say, I have no idea, really, I didn't write out anything, I don't have anything planned to say specifically in this video. I'm mostly probably just gonna ramble a bit, yap a bit, which recently in conversations with some people in my personal life, I've done a lot of apologizing for rambling and yapping and oversharing with people in my personal life lately, and so I've apologized for it, and they're all just like, Zach, it's part of your charm, it's part of who you are. We recognize that it's just something that comes with you, and you should stop apologizing for it because it's just part of who you are. So, noted, noted, and we're probably going to do a lot of that today because it's just whatever comes to my mind and whatever I can think about and this, that, the other. I mostly today was just feeling like, you know what, it's time to sit down and film. It's time to get back to, it's time to let's get to, if you will. And we're getting to. And I really envisioned this looking probably a bit different than what it is, because I think when I first took this break, I really had in my mind that I was going to leave for an undetermined amount of time. Although I said that and in my mind, it was minimum 1 week, which I really knew and felt wouldn't be enough, and max a month, and we've almost hit a month. I think in 6 days, 5 or 6 days, it'll be a month. I don't know. I guess it depends on when I post this as well. But, so I really thought after whatever that amount of time away, I would come back a different person. I would come back with a new game plan for my internet platform in general, both here and on Twitch and or Instagram, Twitter, wherever you might find me. And the reality is that is very, very wishful thinking on my end, or that was very wishful thinking on my end. I think as time went along, I realized maybe that wasn't gonna happen. In fact, actually, if I'm being honest, the first week of my break, it didn't feel like a break because my mind was just spinning and looping about Zach, what are you gonna do with your life? How are you going to fix this mess that you've made in your life? Which I don't know what the mess I felt like I made in my life was, outside of I just was really worried I would never want to come back to YouTube and I would never want to do this again. And so I think in my head I was like, you gotta figure out a game plan, you gotta figure out all of your pathways out. And so the first week I was just so anxious that I wouldn't even really call it a break. It wasn't until I really just let myself not worry about work, not worry about the internet, not worry about what people on the internet were doing, that I was able to take a deep breath and really relax and let myself just disconnect a little bit. I think in terms of my mental health, well, first of all, I guess I should say so many people responded so kindly. I didn't look immediately. I have since in the past few days taken a look at social media and the comments on my last video and things like that, and people were just very kind. I think there was also, I probably should have looked this up before, there was a person who made a very, very sweet video. Their YouTube channel is Studio Deets, and they made a really sweet, kind, compassionate video about me from people who had left comments and things like that. I just want to say all the support and kind comments and well wishes and things like that really mean a lot to me. Like, truly, I think I know and or knew that a lot of people on the internet cared about me and that I was an important part of people's lives and things like that. And also, when I left YouTube, I'm gonna be honest, like, I was not in a place where I felt like the internet at large cared about me, which is obviously very silly because clearly lots of people did. Lots of people have shared very kind messages, but I think that is a sign of where my mental health was that I wasn't thinking rationally or clearly about things. And in that way, you know, I have suggested to other people on the internet that if they couldn't handle it, like, there's nothing tying people to stick around. And I think in general I have like pretty good confidence or self-confidence when it comes to like dealing with stuff on the internet. I, over the many years I've been on the internet, have read and seen all kinds of things about myself, and I've been able to like keep on trucking. And this go around I just wasn't able to, and it felt like a really unhealthy place for me to be. So anyways, all that to say, thank you so much for the very kind comments and things like that. I think when it comes to like where my mental health is at right now, it's definitely in a better place, but I don't want to like put up this idea that like I'm great or that I'm in a perfect spot or that I'm doing the best mental health wise that I ever have. Well, that's certainly not true. That's certainly not true. I'm definitely that moment happened at a different time in my life where I was the best mental health wise. But what I guess I will say is like and without like oversharing or sharing too much about, you know, what's going on in my life, I have been going to therapy. I've been, you know, using some tools that my therapist has worked on with me to help, you know, take care of myself. I have a great network of friends and people in my real life who care about me, who have checked in on me and have made sure that I'm doing okay. And in those ways, I do feel like I'm in a better place than at least when I left YouTube nearly a month ago. We're almost... Did I already talk about this? I did start filming, and then I hated everything I said, so I deleted it. And I can't remember if I said how long it's been in this video or if that was the video I started recording and deleted. Girl, I don't know. I really don't know, divas. But anyways, all of that to say, you know, I think mental health wise, like, it's possible that next week I could be in a bad place again. Honestly, the way things have gone for me in the past, I don't know, 8 months, 9 months, I don't know how long it's been anymore. The way things have gone for me is like, it's gone from like feeling bad all of the time to, you know, for a while it was like feel bad maybe every other day. Then it got into a place where it's like feel bad maybe every other week. And then for a while I feel like I had a stretch of like a month's time where like every day felt great. and then this happened. And, you know, we've gone back. I feel like I've been set back a little bit in terms of like, we've gone back to maybe every other week feels like it's bad or not great. And you know, I think that's in some ways that's just how grief works. And, somebody who's experienced grief at other times in my life, like, this particular kind of grief has felt different than all of those times too. So it's just like, you know, I don't know that there's ever a formula for handling it, but I'm working on it and continuing to work on it. And also, probably going to hold those cards a little bit closer to my chest moving forward, hopefully. I mean, I guess that does make me think about one thing that I want to say, which is that, like, I have zero promises to make to you about, Diva, that's not a fart, that's like a motorcycle or something outside. Also, sometimes I say that when I'm recording and then you can't even ever hear it on the actual recording. But I heard it, which distracted me, which is just kind of how my brain works. And this is going to be probably very little edited, so get into it. Get into it, divas. That was actually the biggest problem with the first take, is that I kept pausing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to edit this. Ugh, I didn't really plan on editing this. I gotta start over. But anyways, all that to say is, like, when it comes to, like, promises for anything on my channel moving forward, I can't make any, you know? I don't want to say I'm gonna do one thing and then not follow through with it or not make it happen for you all. I think sometimes people like to make those promises because they think that, like, it will hold them accountable, and then they end up just looking really foolish when they don't follow through with those things. So I think on my end, it's better to leave things just, like, really open-ended in terms of, like, what I do and what I don't do. I guess maybe one thing to say that I kind of thought about is I'm gonna put in, I don't know, maybe for people who, you know, are critical of the Zachary Mike, Zachary Marie, Zachary Michael also, whoever, whatever, maybe you won't believe this, but, like, I put a lot of pressure on myself to try to post something Monday through Friday on this channel, on top of, like, streaming Monday through Thursday and re-uploading, like, reactions from my Twitch streams to my second channel. And I am going to give myself a bit more grace with that moving forward. I think I really, for all intents and purposes, when I quit my full-time job to do YouTube back in, when was that? 2021? 2022? I don't remember which year. I think it was 2021. When I did that, I really made myself treat this like it was a full-time job. And in that sense, like, I really tried to post daily Monday through Friday because it just, like, felt like that made the most sense. It kept me on a schedule. It provided some structure to my life. And I do think, like, I'm somebody who really, like, thrives with structure like that. But I also have learned that in the past few weeks that I haven't posted on YouTube, that, like, the world hasn't burned. Like, the world's kept going with or without my videos, and in that sense, like, I've still, you know, been able to pay my bills and pay for the things I need and stuff like that, which I'm very grateful for. But just to say that, like, if I stopped posting with as much consistency and just, like, gave myself some time to maybe work on some content that might take longer than just a day to make or things like that, that maybe, you know, I'll feel a little less stressed, a little less pressed. So that's maybe the only thing that I can really say in terms of, like, what I can promise. But that's less promising and more just, like, giving you a heads up of, like, hey, maybe you're used to me posting Monday through Friday nearly every day, and perhaps we'll post a little less, or maybe I'll find a way and, like, keep up that schedule. I just don't want to, like, put pressure on myself to do those things. And I appreciate that y'all will, you know, be supportive of me in that endeavor and things like that. I do want to get back to Twitch streaming. There's been so much content from Darlene Michaud that I want to react to over there. In fact, actually, like, a couple videos that I was planning on reacting to before I even took a break, and then while I was on a break, I saw that she posted some other videos that seemed like they might be worth a reaction. And so I really want to do that with the folks over on Twitch. Feel free to come join us there once I do start streaming again. Twitch.tv/thezacharymike. I imagine for sure by next week, like, we should be back to that. Like, I feel pretty confident that that's something that I can do. I will say the schedule might look a little bit different because I can't do Wednesday nights at all anymore. Well, for the time being, or for the next, like, 8 weeks, because I started a new drawing class that's on Wednesday nights, and that has been, like, a really great outlet for me creatively, is to, like, be able to just do something creative for fun with no expectation that, like, I'm doing it for any kind of, like, monetary value, or, like, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not monetizing the hobby. I'm just really doing it for fun and to learn something new. This class is a figure drawing class, so, like, we're drawing a, like, live model that's in front of us. It's been fascinating, and certainly, like, drawing the human form is a lot harder than what I was doing in my last class, which was just, like, still life drawings. Like, a lot of, if you saw me post on Instagram, it was a lot of, like, vases and just, like, random shapes and objects. So this is a bit different because, like, vases can look like all kinds of things, but, like, you can look at something that's supposed to be a human and know, like, if something seems off, you know what I'm saying? But I guess that's besides the point. What I was really talking about was streaming on Twitch, and I do plan on returning to that. So, please come join us over there. And if you don't want to join us over there, Twitch is free, by the way. Like, I think sometimes people think that it's not free or that it's just for gaming, which, like, a large amount of the people that stream on Twitch are streaming video games. But there's also a large community of streamers on Twitch that don't stream video games. But it's free to download, and if you have a computer, you can just open it up on your browser, whichever browser you use of your choice. And you don't have to, like, pay to subscribe. You can just subscribe for free, or follow me for free. I think that's one of the things that's confusing, though, is that, like, you do have to pay to subscribe. And I think, like, if you primarily use YouTube, you think about it in the same sense that, like, you would subscribe to me over here. But really, it's basically basically is, like, Twitch's version of YouTube's memberships, which, I don't know, is not necessarily an equal an equal comparison. But on Twitch, what that means is, like, you get ad-free viewing of my channel specifically, so there won't be any ads that'll pop up. You get some fun emotes, and that's, like, the only perks that I have to offer in terms of doing that. And it's totally up to you if you want to subscribe or not. But basically, all I'm trying to say is you can watch for free, which I think sometimes people who are only from YouTube don't know that. And I like to try to offer as many free opportunities to enjoy my content as possible. And certainly if you want to support me financially in other ways, I welcome that as well. I'll also probably, speaking of supporting me financially in other ways, after I post this, I'll probably open my cameos back up. I did have a number of them that I just declined right before I took the break because I just knew I couldn't complete them. And oh my gosh, I imagine you had to hear that one. I imagine you had to hear that one this time. But anyways, if you were hoping to get one of those before I went on the break and I had to, like, decline it, maybe the time has passed if it was, like, for a birthday or something, but I would be happy to do those moving forward. Let's see. Oh, and then in terms of content, I'm sure, like, people are gonna ask about, like, my thoughts on Amber Lynn. To be honest with you, I really, truly haven't kept up with anything, which has been really peaceful, honestly. I did, before I filmed this video today, it took some time to, like, just skim over things that are seemingly going on. I don't know, it seems like Amber Lynn just got right back into, you know, the cycle of everything, of dieting, of not dieting, of responding to critical comments or haters or things like that. So it honestly maybe doesn't seem like I missed too much. I also, haven't decided how, if, when, etc. I'm going to cover her content either. It's something I still want to think a little bit more about and see what that looks like. Because I missed like 3 weeks worth of her content, and it also felt really peaceful. And yeah. Yeah. And I was like, I saw a couple things from Chantal that might be worth talking about or interesting. I also saw while I went on break that a new season of 1,000 Pound Sisters was announced, and or maybe, is today April 15th? I think maybe premiering tonight. I think maybe premiering tonight. So I had it in my head that like while I was on this break, I was gonna watch all of the episodes of the last season that I hadn't finished. And then I looked at that today, because honestly in my head I was like, I maybe missed 4, 5 episodes, but I think I counted and I'm like 7 episodes behind on that. So I would like to get back into those girlies as well, and get caught up on that. So there's just lots of things I'd like to do. One thing I will say is, like, I had in my head that I was gonna, like, pre-record a bunch of content so that whenever I came back, I could just start posting. And that didn't happen either. and that's part of the reason why, like, I'm really just here today saying, like, I'm back, because I think that's what it's gonna take for me to kind of get back into the groove, into the swing of things, and yeah, so here we are, divas. Here we are. Yeah, anything else? I don't know. I just really appreciate you all for being so patient with me, so understanding. I personally really needed this break. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to take a break, that I was able to take some time away. I've said this about Amber Lynn, and I'll say it about myself, but I fully understand that, like, it is not the norm for probably the majority of people in my audience that they are able to take, like, extended amounts of time off from working. And so I know that I am beyond privileged and blessed to be able to do that. I really do, and I don't take that lightly. I imagine if I was in this situation in, like, my last professional job, like my last professional 9-to-5 job, there are things in those situations that you can take, like, time off or time away or things like that. So I imagine, like, I potentially could have done something like that in a job, but, like, it's not lost on me that many people can't do this. And so I just appreciate that y'all are still here, that y'all still wanted to come back. You're still interested in what Zachary Marie is up to and wants to do on the internet, and what fascinates me, what's interesting to me, and I hope you'll continue going on that ride with me, to check out and see what's up and what's happening over here. Yeah. I'm like, is there anything else? Poe is here, but he's in his dog bed that's on the floor, so and I don't want to disturb him because he seems so peaceful back there. I just looked again and he's like in a little donut rolled up and curled up. So I don't want to bother him. But yeah, that might be all I have. That might be all I have, divas. Yeah. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I really do. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, for coming back, for being awesome, for sticking around. I appreciate it. Y'all are iconic. I hope y'all are doing well and taking care of yourselves as well, to the best of your abilities, to the best, to the extent that you can, that you're able. And otherwise, I'll be back soon. I'll be back in a video again soon, hopefully. Hopefully you'll see me on your screens again soon. As in within this week. I don't want to say like tomorrow, but you know, sometime soon. Sometime soon. We're gonna get back to posting, divas. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. All right. Oh God. Now I really am just rambling. All right. I'm gonna shut the fuck up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.